Hello, everybody. Welcome to the smoke room. Yes, I know I said I wouldn't be doing this, but I want to because personally, it's been a bit since I played the smoke room myself, and I want to catch up. And also, I think if you guys understood, like the prequel, like you would understand all the references I was making in the main game about Sam, you know? I didn't really mention any other characters in depth, but like, this came out around the time that Jenna's Run was finishing up because they did a huge hiatus with Jenna's Route, like massive. Um, and it took them a while to get back to it. And by the time they were doing it, they Smoke Room was coming out as well. So at least what I remember. But yeah, this game takes place 100 years before the first game, which takes place in 2015, so this is 1915. And in this, we play as Samuel. Samuel Ayers, as we saw in Jenna's Route, was the corpse by the road. Good God. He is a sex worker working in the infamous brothel, the Smoke Room, as was mentioned in Flynn's Route. So yeah. This game has a lot more graphic content when it comes to sexual content, so I'll have to pause a lot. Because, there are some moments where they explicitly show porks, so yeah. Let's just get into this because let's get in. I love how it just fades in, it's so good. Tired of scraping by every day. In fact, I have to do this voice now for the entire inner monologue. I'm tired of hiding in the back of this whorehouse. I'm tired of the other broken, crumbling buildings around me. I'm tired of the work I do. I'm tired of this town. I'm just tired. No matter what I do, no matter how I try to change things. Just feels like I'm moving in circles here. The theme right off the bat. An endless circle. That's what this shithole of a town is. But I'm getting out tonight. I glare out at the setting sun. What will possess me to settle in this desert? It'll man the shirt off and pour the sweat on my fur, and I can feel it trickling down between my shoulder blades. Thank God it's Sunday, otherwise I'd have to hope my first customer likes that sort of thing. I had a few, actually. I stand there for a while longer, finally deciding that the sun's setting up for me to start getting ready. I move from the balcony to the hallway into my room. I move around quietly. For some reason, the idea of what I'm about to do makes me feel like I ought to keep it all secret. Sure, they can't just keep me here, but I know they don't want me to leave. I pull on my clothes, button my shirt, and pull my suspenders over my shoulders. Then I stand quietly next to the door listening. It's mostly quiet, and I can hear the girls laughing and talking a ways away, probably down in the empty saloon. Good. Quietly, I make way to the corner. I'd probably suck at this. Quietly, I make way to the corner of the room just behind the bed. Kneeling down, I put my claws between the floorboards, knowing exactly which one I want because I memorized the pattern of the wood grain. I pull it up while pulling a face at the squeaky, groaning noise it makes. A loud shrieking sound from below makes me jump and freeze, listening. But I realize it's just one of the girls laughing, probably drunk. Holding my breath, I slip my free paw down between the small space I made. Holding my breath, I slip my free paw down through the small space I made between the floorboards and feel around. I keep holding my breath until I feel the three flat pieces of cold metal stacked on top of each other. Using my claws again, I pick them up, careful not to drop them because I've already done that, and the sound they make would probably bring everyone running. You know, it's hard because, like, the voice I was using for Sam in Echo wouldn't work because that was kind of him overtaken by the entity and being part of the entity. So it's... I don't know. Slowly I lower the floorboards again, feeling a little less tensed up since I think they're drunk enough down there that they won't even remember I'm up here. I kneel there on the floor looking at the one gold eagle and the two double eagles resting my paw pad. It's odd that these 3 coins represent everything I've been working for the past 2 years. $50, and if Jack really knows what he's doing, it's enough to get me the hell out of here. The door slams open, and I jump a foot in the air even though I'm on my knees. Jesus! I manage to close my paws in time so the coins don't go rolling across the floor, clutching under my chest so I freeze in the spot. Sammy, enough hiding away up here. Come downstairs. What are you doing? I still haven't looked back, holding both paws to my chest. I try to get my breathing under control. I'm praying. I look back and see Cynthia give me a look like she doesn't believe me at all. You pray? Of course I pray. Well, I mean the downy knees and clasped paws you haven't gotten laying. I sighed, trying to sound annoyed, even though I'm just scared she's gonna see what I'm doing. I put one foot on the ground underneath me as I come up and turn to face the fox. I slide the coins as smooth as I can in my right pocket. Cynthia frowns as I turn to face her. You alright, Sam? Look a little shaken up. Thank God the girl somehow didn't notice, but I finally feel my heart start to calm down a little bit. Feel my arms glaring. Well, that's because you busted in without a knock. Sorry about that, just kind of forgot to. Me and the other girls don't really do it. I think the real main reason is that she's been a bit canned from drinking down the saloon with the others. I'll remember next time anyway. Come on down, we're all having such a good time. I sigh and shake my head. Not tonight. Cynthia sighs. I'll stop being so down all the time. Besides, we're talking about you. That perks my ears up. Why? Well, you know, there's this weasel in town. He's from Batavia, and apparently he's made an appointment here. Fox bounces up and down excitedly, paws up to a muzzle. So what? Oh, Sam, as I said, he's from Batavia, and he made the appointment with you. I bristle. How do you know that? Well, I didn't look at the list. I never would, but Gabriel did. Fox grins again, and I push my paws to my face, signing frustration. You know how much trouble you can get into that? You know how much trouble you can get into for that? You'd lose my whole business if it got out you guys are snooping on my clients. Not that it matters anymore. Again, it wasn't me that did it. And it was an untimed thing to see who was getting the weasel. We didn't expect it to be you. Doesn't make it right. No, it doesn't. Now come downstairs. I sigh. No, I'm in now for the night. This room's too stuffy. Think the internet will do me some good. Cynthia gives me a look that I've seen more than I can count. Fine, but you should try to show your face around more often. That's the first step to building your clientele. She tells me this like I haven't heard it 1,000 times before. But again, it doesn't really matter now. You know mine are different. They find me. I can tell I'm wearing the fox out, but in a buzzed state, she gives up on me quicker than usual. Well, I'm going back downstairs. You're always welcome to join us. Believe it or not, most of us like you. Yeah. It's about to turn the corner. I suddenly remember how this might be the last time I ever see you. And thanks. I blurt awkwardly, not used to saying it. Cynthia's not used to hearing it, based on how she leans back around the door frame, a confused look on her face. Yeah, don't worry about it. You okay, Sam? I curse myself, it sounds so damn suspicious, but I keep a straight face, shrugging. Like I said, it's stuffy. It makes me feel like I'm going crazy, but thanks for making an effort. Sure, Sam. Stay safe on those streets. Oh god, I fucking suck at this. I will. Cynthia disappeared. You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to do my regular voice for the inner monologue and do the Sam voice for the speaking because fuck this shit. Cynthia disappears behind the door frame and I realize that I'm sad to see her go. She's one of the few people I'm gonna miss here, aside from one of my clients. I shoved the few bits of clothing and belongings I have into an old knapsack I found on the side of the road a few months ago. Take a last look around the room. Glad for once I don't own much. It'll make what I'm about to do a hell of a lot easier. With that, I carefully make my way down the stairs, listening to my shattering coworkers as I turn the corner and take the back exit to the empty kitchen. It's that time of night that the typical crowds of the day switch out for the typical crowds of the night. Men talk and shout in little clustered groups in front of the saloons that don't bother with the Sunday lot. Why is that a thing? Why is that still a thing in certain states? What the fuck? Oh no, you can't drink on Sunday because God says you can't. Well, no, you can do that, but don't force it on other people, you fucking pricks. At least I think that's what it is. Streetwalkers stand in alleys and doorways waiting for any of the drunk men wandering the streets to notice them. The low's to the low, and even if I manage to find a spot in the most reputable brothel in town, I still feel like I'm one of them. I walk quickly through the streets, head down, paws in my pockets the way I always walk. It usually keeps attention away, even with my attention-grabbing white fur. I look up a few times trying to make sure I'm heading in the right direction. Not used to this part of town. Jack had wanted me to meet him near the mines, since he apparently needs me to help him something before we hop the midnight train. Okay, real quick. You remember in the dream that Chase had where Sam died? He said Jack, which Janice took to mean get the car, Jack. But I personally think he was talking to this Jack, and you'll see why in a second. You'll see why. I feel a little thrill in my chest with the idea that by sunrise, Echo will be far behind me. I doubt that. I know that's not going to happen, actually. I'm away to a life on the West Coast where I can start over the right way. I actually have to stop myself from skipping. Excited for the first time since I started planning all this. I still feel guilty leaving everyone behind. Madame Dora for giving me a place to stay and work, William and Nick for just listening to me, Cynthia for being a friend. But everyone gets their chance to get out of this town someday, and this is my chance. If you miss that chance, then you miss it, and you're stuck. At least that's what I've been told about this place. True or not, I'm not going to miss mine. The buildings become fewer as I get closer to the mine, the dirt road becoming harder to discern from the sagebrush-covered wilderness. I feel better, though, being away from all the light and the people. Makes me feel protected somehow. There's a small light ahead of me, and I know right away that it's Jack with his lantern right where he said he'd be. Relief floods through me, having had suspicions that I've been duped somehow up until this point. I've only known the man for a week, and he approached me with the idea of pooling our fortunes and making a break for the coast. So seeing him now with his gas lamp held up, a grin on his face, it's really going to happen. His expression is infectious, so I smile back sheepishly, raising a paw. Jack. Wow, that sucked. Howdy, Sam. How are you this fine evening? Better now that I'm out of that pit. The older man claps me on the hard back, and even though he's a good deal smaller and less muscle than I am, it almost makes me stumble. And you'll never go back again. How does that feel? Take a deep breath. Good, I think. I don't really know yet. That's normal. I've done this a few times myself. Hopefully this will be the last time that I got myself a partner. Upon my back moved to wrap around my side, pulling me into a side hug. I feel my spirits lifting a bit. If this man is always this friendly, then or maybe our little partnership will work out after all. Even though he'd been my customer only twice for the past week, he talked to me about things more personal than any of my clients have, including William. He was understanding, witty, and on top of that, good at what we do before all the talking. He even taught me a few tricks that would keep my other customers coming back. So you got all your stuff? Yep. Turned to show him the beaten knapsack on my back. Not carrying much, are you? No worries, we'll be able to lie for you soon enough. And the money? I paused, almost panicking because I forgot for just a second where I put the coins. Then I shove a paw in my pocket and pull them out. Jack raises the lamp, examining the eagle and two double eagles resting in my paw. He whistles. Been a while since I've seen a double. No less two. Good work, boy. Snaps me again after goes my fingers quickly to avoid dropping them. Push them back in my pocket, prying my fingers around just to make sure there's any holes in there that I don't know about. At the same time, I look up at the sky, guessing it's probably about 9 in the evening. That would give us a few hours before the train comes through, though I want to be there as soon as possible so we don't miss it. Despite the relief I just felt, the thought of hopping a train soon has me getting nervous all over again. Last time I did this, I almost slipped under the wheels. Oh, no, don't mention that. There's a fucking part in Echo that, no. So what was it you need? That's not Jack. Okay. So what was it you needed help with? Well, Jack sets his free paw on his hip, grinning at me again. I struck big in the mine. I frown. What? Samuel, I found gold in the mine. I stared at the other man, confused. How? As far as I know, you need stuff, machinery or something to get the gold out. How did Jack have that all to himself? He moves closer. See, this is what I want to tell you about. I didn't dig it up. Someone left some gold in a few bags they already done mined. I go on staring, hardly believe what I'm hearing. I know, it looks like they've been there a long time. It's in a part of the mine no one goes to anymore. I think they just forgot about them back in the day. Jack starts walking up the path toward the mine. I'm left staring after him for a few seconds, where I quickly start to follow, trying to find words to say. But how could anyone forget something like that? See the old man's bony shoulders lift up and down in a shrug. Who the hell knows? But listen, there's a bag of the stuff. I think it's enough to, well, let us live rich for the rest of our lives, like real rich. I'm silent, stunned. I can't believe what I just heard. How could anyone... Jack just told me he found something that could change my life completely. Not just move to the coast, but move there and live rich. Something I never considered. Quiet until Jack takes a left turn off of the path into the brush. Not even though the entrance of the mine is 100 feet straight ahead of us. I stand there on the path for 6 seconds, looking back and forth between him and the mine. Jack? Come on, boy, we don't got much time. I hesitate and force myself forward, cursing as I start stepping on the sharp stones hidden beneath the sagebrush. Where are you going? You see... Jack starts moving up the side of the big hill that the mine entrance is attached to, the slanted ground adding to the treachery of walking blindly through the wilderness. There's still miners in the main stretch of the mine, even though it's Sunday. That is why I left it there until now. We're gonna grab and get the hell out of town before anyone can even get their dirty paws on it. Oh. I have to tug my tail free as it gets caught between twigs and a bush, making me grimace. Is it far? It's right here. Jack turns to face a slight outcrop of boulders on the side of the hill, almost hidden by the brush that's growing around it. Sets the lamp down at the base of the boulders and starts jumping up it to try and climb up one of them. Yeah. I usually pull myself up on the side of the boulder, and Jack chuckles as he lifts the lamp up toward me. I'm getting too old to do anything these days. Now I know that's not true. Set the lantern down next to me before reaching back to lift Jack up by his paw. Passed me on the back knee before grabbing the lantern and turning around. Behind the boulders is a little drop that leads to what looks like a small fissure in the side of the hill. What is this? Jack grins in the light of the lantern. Secret little back entrance. How the hell did you find it? Jack had only been working the mines for a few weeks, and he'd been able to figure out all this. Few of the others know, but just had to talk to him. Jack leaves the lantern on the ledge of the boulder before sliding down to a little space. Turning around and reaching up again for me to lower it down to him. Slide down after him, immediately feel a gust of cool, musty air coming from inside the opening. Oh shit, okay. Feels damn good compared to the heat outside. When I look down the little tunnel ahead of us, I start to feel a little more unsure of what's happening here. Jack just goes on ahead though, confident as he always is. So I follow him. Watch your head, Sam. You're big enough to not get a knife from up there. Do as he says, glancing up and ducking under dips in the ceiling that come down every now and then. We come into a branch in our tunnel, and Jack immediately goes left. Then we go left, then right, then... Hey, you know where we are, we can get lost. I know exactly where we are. Don't worry your pretty little titty head about that. Still got that cheerful sound in his voice, but it's getting me a little riled up considering the type of situation we're in. Still, he doesn't hesitate at any branches in the tunnel, so I have to assume he knows what he's doing. He works here, after all. The tunnels are a lot narrower than I always imagined them to be, and I wonder if it's just the way this specific part of the mine is. Oh, dude. Dude, if you look at pictures of old mines, they are fucking cramped. Jesus Christ. Nick definitely will be able to through some of these passages. Jack comes to an abrupt stop so that I must run into him. Almost run into him. I'm going crazy. He's standing in front of a little opening in the wall, even smaller than the one we came in through. He breathlessly holds up the lantern to it, almost like it's holy or something. Here it is, Sam. Here it is. The excitement's getting me going a bit too, but I eye the dark opening with a frown. I don't think I'm gonna fit through there. It's the same size whole way through. You'll make it, but you'll have to turn those big old shoulders sideways. He reaches up and pats my chest appreciatively before walking through the opening, able to do so without turning sideways. I shimmy through the opening, careful not to scrape myself on any of the jutting bits in the walls. This tunnel's a lot shorter, thank God, but the air becomes thick. A lot mustier, and now I completely believe, Jack, that this is some abandoned part of the mine. Probably from when they first started it up. The lantern gaslight disappears for a moment, and I realize that Jack has made it through the other side. And that's when I break through, finally able to breathe easy in the wider space we come into. No. 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 This is from Leo's route when Brian takes you into the mine to kill you. Okay. Looking around now, it's just a tiny little hollow, smaller than the size of my room. There are a few things lying around, though. A shovel and a pickaxe against the wall, what looks like a tin cup in the corner. And finally a few bags at the far end of the hollow, looking full and lopsided. I noticed that Jack's breathing heavy, and considering how we weren't really exerting ourselves at all, I can only imagine excitement. There! Jake points at the bag, and I can see that even his paw is shaking. Swallow hard and start moving toward the bags. Really? They're all filled up? The size of my head, and it seems impossible that all of that could be gold. Yes, look at them! I let out a little short laugh that just comes out of me, because I can't believe any of this. At least not until I see it. So I crouch down, front over the bag, grabbing the drooping opening, which I lift open and spread open to peer inside. Rocks. I squint at them, worried if maybe the gold stuck inside of them or something. That would explain the ridiculous amount, but I don't see anything glinting. I start to ask Jack to bring the lantern closer. Hey, can you... An explosion goes off in my head. It shakes my entire body, my entire world. Everything stops and I can't think. I actually am conscious of one thing. It's my teeth clacking together like someone just punched me in the chin. It's not coming from the front of my head, it's in the back. Then the world comes back to me and I realize that I'm still crouched over the bag somehow, but my shoulders are all bunched up. My head leaned back like the muscles in my neck are cramping. I gasp really loud like I'm drowning. I slowly bring my paws up to where that explosion happened. They go automatically back of my head between where my neck and skull meet. I just sit there for a second, confused as all hell, wondering if something fell from the ceiling as I go on staring at the bag. You big son of a bitch! Then another explosion a little higher so that it hits my head and my paws. This time I feel my body gets all stiff in the strangest ways, my legs straightening out, which pushed me away from the bag and on my back. Then I see my arms sticking up, paws reaching toward the ceiling. Like a goddamn brick shithouse! I blink at the sky above me in confusion, wondering why it's so yellow and dirty. Blinking at it, waiting for it to go black, back to blue or black with stars, whatever time it is. I hear someone next to me, moving around. Then I feel something on my hip, someone tugging at my pants. Now where'd you put him? He's mumbling over me and I recognize the voice as Jack, but what is Jack doing? The mine. I reach under to cover my pocket, trying to ask what the hell he's doing, but all that comes out is this garbled moan that doesn't sound like me at all. Oh no, paws down or I'll hit you again. In just a second, I manage to focus on the smaller man leaning over me, one paw fishing around my pocket while the other holds a shovel. I start to ask him what he's doing, but then his paw yanks out of mine, and he lets out a little laugh that's so loud and high-pitched it makes me flinch. There they are! Can't see what he's holding, but I hear the clink of coins. Everything comes back to me in a waterfall of confusion, hurt, most of all anger. I lunge up and grab at his arm, coming up far too short as a wave of sickening pain shoots through my head and down my back. He dodges me easily. Down, pussycat, I don't want it, but I'll give you another one if you don't just stay laying on the ground. He moves away from toward his lantern while I sat down, putting a paw back of my head with a moan. The shadow blocks out the light, and I realize exactly what Jack is doing. He's gonna try to leave me here lost in the mines. He takes off with his money, everything that I have. The snarl works its way out of my throat almost without me even. Snarl works its way out of my throat and almost without me even thinking about it. I'm pouncing after him, just about to pick up his lantern. Paws smashed into his back, right between his shoulder blades. Like he kept mentioning, I'm a hell of a lot bigger than him, and he goes down like a broken matchstick, belly flopping in the dirt. Nin! Hear him lose his breath, and before he can do anything else, I slam my fist inside of his face as hard as I can 4 or 5 times. He hollers after the first, but goes quiet after the third, seizing up under me. I sit there on top of him, gasping for breath, still wondering what the hell just happened. I stare down at Jack, his fluttering eyelids and the blood coming out of his mouth. I realize how stupid I am. So goddamn stupid. Most people probably would have just seen this coming a mile away, but I thought I knew Jack. At least as much as you can know a person in a week. Thought of so much gold, of living rich. I've been completely blinded by the thought of it. Jack starts to groan louder and move around more. So I reach over for his right paw, forcing it open and grab my coins. I clutch them protectively on my chest as I stand up, feeling a sudden wave of dizziness as I do. Stumble toward the opening and rest for a moment, catching my breath, waiting for my bleary eyes to focus. The sharp pain in my head is gone now, placed by a deep throb that penetrates all the way from the back of my neck to the back of my eyes. I reach up to rub at it again, and my paw comes away wet and bloody. I start to worry that I might be more hurt than I thought. I need to get help if someone looking at it, but first I need to get my way out of this damn mine. I start to push my way through the opening again, and then I remember that I needed a lamp. I turn around and find Jack already out, moving toward me, just 5 feet away, this time with the pickaxe in his paws. Dully, I wonder if it's the throbbing, rushing sound in my ears that had kept me from hearing him, but I don't have time to think anything else as he rushes at me, thrusting the head of the pick at my face. He doesn't say anything this time, just screams. I flinch and raise my paw, but I also let my feet go out from under me, and that's what saves me as I land hard on my rear, and I hear the metal hit the hard wall of the cave behind me. The drop sends a wave of pain to my head. It's so bad I gag and almost throw up, but then I see Jack raising the pick above his head, ready to bring it down on me. He's gonna kill me. And after what's happened, I find that almost impossible to believe. There it is in front of me, the man I thought was my friend, silhouetted by the lamp's dim light, the muscles under his fur bunching up, a snarl of fury on his face. I scream, raising my paws to protect myself. Coins falling to the ground as the thought of being run through with a pick sends fear through me like I've never known. Don't! As he's raising it, it knocks against the ceiling of the hollow, and Jack starts adjusting the angle of the pick. I know this is my only chance, and I push myself off the ground, and I'm running into him while I grab at his weapon. He panics and swings too late, the wooden handle landing weakly against my forearms. As I reach up and grab it, we both snarl and growl as I pin him to the wall, keeping his weapon above his head with both paws, trying to lift it from his grasp. I got a good hold on it, though, at least until he takes his right paw away to try and punch at my side. I'm so tense from anger and fear that I don't feel anything. By one of his paws, I'm able to yank it from him. I stumble back as he drops down. He looks up at me. Our eyes meet. I bring the head of the pick up and smash him right in the forehead as hard as I can. The sound is deep and sickening, like ice cracking in a frozen river. When I pull the pickaxe away, his expression is completely different, his eyes empty and distant. He leans there a moment, but then his body suddenly spasms and goes ramrod straight before sliding sideways down the wall to lay in his back. I see his paws twitching to fists, pulling up to his chest before he gives me this big heavy sigh. And he stops breathing altogether. I stare down at my chest heaving, the pick hanging loosely in my paws. I wait. Jack! He doesn't move, not at all. Just from the looks of him, I can tell he's dead. I keep staring in my mind, trying to figure out how I got here from just 10 minutes ago. But no matter how much I stare, nothing changes in front of me. Jack is dead on the ground. I feel short up my spine, and there's this feeling of dread that starts pulling up from the earth into my legs and up into my stomach. I don't know why, but I feel like I'm being watched. Like, I just woke something up and it's watching me now. You probably did, dude. This is Echo. This is fucking Echo. It doesn't fucking hold. I dropped the pick and back away from Jack, my nerve failing me, unable to crouch down to check if he really is dead. Despite everything I've been through, I've never seen anyone dead before. Shakily, I turn away from him, looking around. I need to get my money and get the hell out. If I get caught like this, the men here won't need much more of a reason to hang a whore like me. I reach out for the lamp that's sitting on the ground peacefully this whole time. I'm still unsteady, still shaky, so when I try to lift up the wire handle, I knock the whole thing over. Instantly, the flame goes out. I stare in shock at the sudden complete blackness before fumbling for the lanterns if lifting it off the ground is going to light it again. Instead, I just touch the heated glass, making me hiss as I burn the pads of my index and middle finger. The shape of the now dead flame burned into my vision is the only thing I can see now. No! No, 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 no! I whisper into blackness, suddenly realize how deep I am into all this. I don't know the way out to begin with, and now with no light, I try to keep calm, swallowing hard. I know straight ahead of me is the opening that leads back into the mine. Jack had said something about others knowing about this place. Maybe I could run into someone or find my way out. We didn't walk that long, did we? I walk carefully forward, pause, reaching out until I find the wall. From there I move my paw around until I find the small opening that leads out into the main tunnels. Knowing I dropped the coins here, I go down to my knees and start to feel around for them. Please, please let me find them, I whisper to myself, to God, to nothing, begging my paws to feel the cool metal. I can't have been searching for more than a minute when something suddenly glides up my spine, like a finger being drawn at my back, then breath in my ear. I allow an involuntary scream, turn over my back, and scrambling backwards until I come against a wall, a ray of pain sticking to my brain as I do. Jack! I stare wide-eyed into the darkness at the spot where I left him, listening, my heart about to pound out of my chest. I've never been more scared in my entire life. Something shifts in the hollow with me, further to the right from where I'm staring. I flinch, ears flat against my head. Jack! I call it again, actually hoping the man is still alive, that this isn't something else, whatever that might be. Because it feels like something else. A few moments of silence goes by, so I start to turn over, and that's when I feel something lean over my shoulder. I shriek in a way I never have before, scratch the wall in front of me, desperately trying to find the opening. When I do, I force myself through, my shoulders scraping painfully against the wall. I don't understand. Something's coming after me through the tiny crevice, and it's not Jack. It's definitely not Jack. I burst through to the other side, my face beating the hard dirt walls of the larger tunnel, my head snapping back and leaving my nose stinging. Still right the direction that I know we came from. I've never had trouble seeing in the dark, but this is complete inky blackness, and there's nothing for me to be able to see. Help! Someone help me! I don't care that I might get caught anymore. I just need to get out of here. I was swinging along right, feeling the walls, feeling ahead of me. I can't hear the thing behind me anymore, but that doesn't matter. I just killed a man, and something I can't explain happened right after, and I just can't understand. I run into another wall hard, and I randomly pick the next direction, heading to the right again, still feeling around blindly with my torn up paws. Finally, my wits catch up with me, and I force myself down to stop making so much damn noise that I can listen. It's quiet, whatever it was that was following me isn't anymore. It's just too far away. But as I'm listening, I do hear something far back the way I came. A stuttered, rhythmic sound, deep and scratchy. I don't know what it is. It grows in volume. I press myself back against the wall, pause up to my muzzle to keep from breathing too hard. It's far away, but it's getting so much louder that it's echoing up the tunnel. Then silence. I realize that I'm crying. I try to keep quiet, the sobs hitching to my chest. I can't remember the last time I cried. Frozen. I know that isn't Jack. Jack is dead, and something else is in that hollow with me. I just turn away from where the noise came from and start moving again. I'm walking this time, and even though the tears keep running down my face, I'm at least quiet. Complete, overwhelming fear has settled into a dull, almost numb feeling in my chest. Yep, it's got you. It's got you now. I aimlessly walk left and right each time I feel a new passage open up with my paws. All the sounds go away, the feeling that something is watching me never does. I think I wander for a few hours, maybe more. It's hard to keep track of time when everything's black. I must have gone all night because what saves me is the sight of light pouring through the end of a tunnel. The one we came through. I move toward it on instinct, not even really feeling all that excited to see it. I'm relieved, but it's numb, just like the fear. I carefully scramble up the boulders out into the early morning, the sun just barely rising. All the better I'm getting out of here before the town really starts to wake up. I slide over the boulder to the ground, my button up and undershirt riding up as I do, and I feel the rough rocks scratching my fur to my stomach and chest. I lean there for a moment, feeling the corners of my muzzle dip down and my body starts to try and cry again, but I stop myself. I don't cry anymore and I can't cry now. People might see, they might suspect something. Yeah, dude covered with a fucking head wound. Crying. Yeah, that would definitely attract suspicion. You know, I'm kind of reminded of that whole thing, like a drop, like a ripple in a pond creates something way bigger. Like this incident, man, what the fuck? It causes so much to happen. It's fucking insane. So with a deep breath, I turn around and start walking along the incline of the hill toward the road to the main entrance of the mine. But here's the thing. This is not the original hysteria incident. The original hysteria incident took place in 1877, if I remember correctly. This is 1915. And then 2015 is the one after this, but like, yeah. Once I get there, I start making my way back to the saloon, my feet kicking up dust as I can barely pick them up at this point. Ahead of me, I see someone walking up the road. A big guy, and it's only then my stupid head realizes that being seen right now would be very, very bad. He's already seen me and I recognize him at the same time he recognizes me. He actually stops in his tracks just to stare at me. Stop too unsure what he's about to do. Then he jogs the rest of the way, surprise in his face. Samuel, what are you doing? Then I see his eyes really widen up as he gets a good look at me. What happened? I'm still numb even though I realize this is real bad, having Nick see me like this after what I just did. Fell down. Fell down. Nick repeats the words as if showing me just how stupid they sound. I look down at my shirt and see that it's covered in drops of dried blood. I reach up and brush the back of my paw across my nose. Then the white fur comes back with crusted flakes and more blood. I hear Nick gasping, looking down, and he grabs me by the shoulders and turns me sideways. Dear God! What? Your head's busted all open! I reach back and all I feel is crusted up fur. He pushes my paw away. No, you need to see a doctor! I don't have money for a doctor. Then I will help you see one. You don't got money either. I know others with money. Who beat you? Take a deep breath, staring down at the ground, knowing that I need to get back to the saloon before someone else sees me. Just some asshole on the street, I don't know who. Did he beat you because of your work? What did he look like? The badger's grip on my shoulder tightens. It's not often I see him angry. Still, I gotta get back. I pull away from his paw, moving up the road. I need to go wash up. I can tell you more later. Samuel! Sorry, but I gotta go. Just come see me at the saloon sometime. Nick stays silent and watches me walk off, and it's right then. I remember I still got my knapsack on, something I hadn't noticed all that time in the cave. I can only imagine me to look even more suspicious. I decided to stay behind the buildings on my way back, and it does a good job of hiding me from almost everyone who's up this early. I reach the saloon, walking up to the back entrance. I stand at the door for about a minute listening, but it's completely silent. Hopefully the girls turned in after the night of drinking. I open the door quietly, glad to see the place completely empty. On my way through the kitchen, I grab the smallest bottle of old rye whiskey that I can find, just hoping it won't be missed, and if it is, that'll be blamed on someone else. I move up the stairs as quiet as I can. I do hear some low murmuring coming from one of the girls' rooms, but it's quiet enough I'm quiet enough on my feet that I'm sure they don't hear me. I finally get to my own room and open the door, wincing as it makes the usual creaking sound that it always does, hoping to God Cynthia's enough to hear it. I stay in my room for a while, just staring, wondering how I got myself into this into this mess. At the same time, realize it's it's all my own damn fault. I finally made my way to the dresser, looking at myself in the mirror. About as bad as I thought. White fur mussed up everywhere, stained pinkish red down my nose and chin. My right eye swelled up a bit. I can't see the back of my head when I turn it this way and that. I can tell from a few glances that it's a disaster back there. I strip down and go about clean myself up, using my cup and drinking water barrel to pour water on my already bloody shirt, which I use to wipe up my fur. When I get to the back of my head, I can feel the skin moving around in ways I'm not used to. And I wonder if Nick was right that I should see a doctor and get stitched up. Maybe after I've slept. For now, I settle for opening the whiskey bottle and taking several swigs before pouring out my shirt and pressing that to the back of my head. My vision flashes white and I suck air hard through my teeth. Screwing up my face, I try not to scream. Yeah, alcohol and open wound. Ugh, God, no. No. I do it a few more times until I can't stand the pain anymore, dropping the shirt to the side of the dresser. And finally, stumbling to my bed, carefully I'm face down on my pillow. I think I read that wrong. The warmth of the alcohol in my stomach dulls the pain, aches my body, and gratefully I'm able to fall asleep. What the fuck now? I'm back in the hollow, lying flat on my back, staring up into the dark. My face feels strange over my forehead and eyes, like it's caved in. I know I'm not alone because I hear the whispers and slithering sounds in the mine. Something has been woken up and it's restless. I feel something grab me, long, slender paws, fingers that grip into my clothes and roll me over. It crawls up my legs, lying over my rear and back, where it sits and shatters to itself. Then I feel it lean over and lock its teeth into the back of my head. Bites hard, crushing my skull and piercing my brain. Pain explodes in my head as I hear a high-pitched scream. Samuel! I jolt awake from my bed, pull my face away from the pillow, damp with my own saliva and streaked here and there with dark red blood. Oh my God, he's alive! I hear a movement behind me and I look back up to see Cynthia standing there, both paws to her mouth, the other girl showing up behind her to stare in my room. Sam, what happened? It hurts way more than it did when I went to sleep. I found myself just staring at them in confusion. Vaguely embarrassed, I'm naked in front of all these females. Then I dry heave in alcohol and bile. You can't dry heave and throw up. Okay. Comes up to splatter on my pillow under the hardwood floor. This earns a few more scream from the girl before a much taller, older doe pushes through them. Madame Dora stands in the doorway for a moment, taking in the scene before she shoos the girls away. I have just enough time to see Cynthia, her eyes fill with tears before the door shuts on her. Without any hesitation at all, Madame Dora walks over to pull me up into a sitting position. The room spins for a minute and I have to shut my eyes tight to get myself from throwing up again. Dear cups my face delicately, turning my head just slightly back and forth as she examines it. You should have come to me immediately, Sam. I don't know what to say, so I keep quiet. The old woman glances over at the dresser, seeing the whiskey bottle there. I wonder if I'm going to give more trouble. She just shakes her head. You know, it's my job to keep you healthy. Whiskey isn't going to fix something like this. Cynthia! That's way too fucking deep for her. I don't fucking know. The loud voice actually makes me flinch. Anything loud is making me flinch, actually. The door immediately cracks open and the fox pokes her muzzle through, making me realize that they're all probably just pressed to the door right now listening. Yes, madam? Stop that crying and get dressed. Run Dr. Avery's, tell him to come as soon as he can. Yes, ma'am. Miss whatever, fucking hell. Cynthia disappears again while the madam looks over the rest of my naked body, checking for other signs of injury before she looks back up at me. Who did this? I glance down at the sheets, but she grabs my chin and gently, but firmly pulls me back to look at her. My job is also to keep you safe. Be honest with me, I do not know. I do not care who it is. Her soft brown eyes look into mine and I swallow. Uh, I was just having a walk through the streets. A couple of men came up behind me and bashed my head. I didn't see them. Madame Dora looks at me for a while longer and I think she probably doesn't believe me. She lets me go, though, and immediately looked back down my lap, deciding to pull a corner where the sheep steps so that I could at least cover myself up a little. You should never go out alone without telling anybody, Sam. You know this. I'm sorry. Well, you've suffered the consequences. Stay in this room until I see the doctor. He won't be working tonight. That should be punishment enough while you rest. Now put some trousers on so I can stand with the girls and change of sheets. That Madame Dora gets up to leave, but not before gently setting a paw on my cheek, giving me a sympathetic smile before making her way out the door, sending the girls against the door scattering. Oh, it has a sprite now. I mean, obviously it's a sprite, but whatever. The doctor comes by about an hour later, and I spend the rest of the afternoon sitting in a chair while he sews out the back of my head. 2 deep cuts with a good deal of bruising, according to him. He also mentioned that it looks like I got hit with a heavy tool of some kind. I just sit there quietly, wincing every now and then as he draws needle and thread through my skin. Meanwhile, looking out the window, business is going on as usual. No shouts of murder, no crowds of people running for the mines. Instead, Echo seems not to notice a man named Jack going missing. Still, my stomach twists at the thought of what happened. I'm still numb, both outside and inside. Maybe that little hollow is completely forgotten to the point that no one's been there in years. If that's the case, I might be able to make it out of this alright. But I'm not alright. I can feel it in my chest. I killed a man in that mine. That's bad enough. But something else happened there, and I don't know what it is. What I do know is that it feels like it's clinging to me, still watching me. I close my eyes, listen to the thread pull through my skin. Just wish I never met Jack, never trusted him, never went into that horrible mine. I've lost everything, and now I might just lose the rest of it. Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. Now that is something I didn't expect to see. My head still hurts when I wake up. Been hurting for days and days. Dr. Avery said I was lucky when he took out my stitches. No infections. Bone bruise on my scalp at worst. Some heartless idea of luck. If I was lucky, I'd be doing something better with my life. Anything better. If I was lucky, I would have been born clever. I would have never met Jack, and he never would have done that to me. If I was lucky, he wouldn't be dead. And I wouldn't be a murderer. If I was lucky, I wouldn't have come to Echo. I still remember how Jack smelled when he mixed with his tobacco, and how he smelled right after he died. I still remember his laugh. How he made me feel unique and special. I thought he was going to set me free. I thought I was going to be happy with him. I'm stupid. I'm so fucking stupid. I always feel something watching me now. Makes me scared, makes me want to cry. It hates me. They'll hate me. They'll hang me for this when they find out. I'm a queer whore without a family or friends in the middle of the dirty frontier. God damn it! The sudden pound at the door makes my head throb worse. Samuel? I peel the thin sheets off my chest, already missing them as the air sucks the warmth from me, and I sit up. All I see in front of me is the vanity mirror on top of my dresser. I'm looking back at myself, lying in the dark. It seems darker than usual. I'm starting to hate looking into it when I'm alone. If I'll ever really be alone again after that day. There was something down in those mines, black as tar and sticking to me. If I hadn't met the devil that day, it must have been a close associate of his. Be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around looking for someone to devour. Peter 5, verse 8. I've always figured he'd be charming or a deceiver. Tricky, like the good book described him. That's how he traps you, right? He makes you feel loved. He makes you feel unique in all of the world. And then you give everything to him and he takes you. You suffer. That was more like the devil in Jack. What I felt was raw and mean. Some hungry, horrible malice. No tricks. Maybe that's the part the Bible leaves out. What he does after he knows he has you. My soul's damned now, isn't it? Nothing will be the same again for me, will it? I'm so scared. Fuck, man, I love that. I love that. That's such a fucking... the fucking line about, like, the devil and... That's so good. I love that writing. Oh my god. Sam, let me have a word with you. Go away, damn it. Come in. She bounces in, then falters. I see her narrow eyes widen and the smile on her muzzle curls into a frown. I didn't mean to hurt you. Silly me to be so loud. It's not so bad. It is. You're crying. I've streamed down my cheeks to realize that she's right. I watch for her soft, sorrowful look to twist in curiosity, but it never does. I start to wonder if the reason Cynthia has her job is because she's such a good actor. How could she not be suspicious of me? How could nobody ask again? Cynthia pulls out a thin roll of parchment from her dress pocket and places it gingerly on my dresser. Madame wants you to run a few errands today, considering you've been idle. Could be helpful for you to be out and about for a spell. She smiles shyly and draws her paw from my vanity, twirling to face me when she reaches my doorway. Find me if you need to do this for you instead. Of course, and return before dark. Stop fussing. I wouldn't be caught dead outside after dark. First time I see Cynthia's features twist into a severe expression. Her voice lowers to a sharp hiss. Well, that's the frightful possibility of the moment, isn't it? Well, that's the frightful possibility of the moment, isn't it? Follow the route. Do not bother going if you cannot. She closed the door on me without another word. It just reads, take the day off and mingle with some folks in the saloon. If you plan on going out, follow the safe route where trusted eyes will be on you. Spend some leisure time today. That's not a request. I groan. Fucking hell, mate. Good grief. It's hard to get used to the noise of the... What the fuck does this mean? AQI 57? It's hard to get used to the noise of the main saloon during the day. It's loud and crowded. Benton plays in the corner with his twangy piano, while the constant murmuring of co-workers, family members, or squealing children adds to the ruckus. It's not akin to my simple, sparse room at all. I like the panes and botanicals hanging from the wood paneling, but don't much like that they hang from every turned corner. The paneling of the bar is buffed, shaved, and warped into prissy little curls that resemble the fashioned new style. Art Nouveau, I think it's called. Art Nouveau, I think, is what that was pronounced. Good grief. More importantly about the bar is that folks generally know not to bother one another out during daylight, so I put myself there. Oh Jesus, he is a fucking sprite now, what the fuck? Harlan's brow lifts as he makes his way to me. The severe old hair clicks his tongue to get my attention. What'll he have, Sam? I'm much busier than he usually is, telling from the sheen of sweat in his brow. He always looks angry to me, but speaks in a flat manner, so I can never tell what's in his mind. The only thing I have in him is when his left ear flicks when he senses trouble in the lounge. His ear only stopped doing that for me a few months ago. Just whiskey with sugar. Bitters, too. I can do that, Sam. He pulls a clean sipping glass down from a rack and starts to busy himself with a few bottles and a jigger. Feel like I'm supposed to be making out a shower, I may as well start with my cohort here. You holding up well today? The hair grunts and leans in, lowering his voice to a whisper. We're big, but we ain't this big. I'm running out of stock faster than I should, and the girls can barely keep up. We built for 30 in the lounge time, not 40, not 50. And if we turn people away, it's gonna be a fuss. He places my drink in front of me, finishing before I noticed. It's fast. Enjoy, Sam. He leaves before I can thank him. Another customer's attention now, ordering something complicated. I turn around to look at the rest of the bar behind me. The round tables, usually reserved for poker, are covered in drinks and food, holding patrons. The standing and hanging lamps in this room, all of cut glass panels stained pearly green, white or gold. Some of the more expensive ones close to the bar are electric, which Madam says is safer near the alcohol. The oil ones that are close to the cozy tables, against the windows, are welcoming, but I avoid sitting near them during the day. What I see there now is a young girl crying over a drink she spilled in her gown. Her ma comforts her while her son drinks beer. There's a crash as he spills his drink too. Benton plays the piano a little louder, while some of the waitresses rush out with brooms and rags to help with the spill and to pick up the glass. I don't envy the waitresses much, but I would appreciate the opportunity to work day and night shifts here. Madam has me run errands for board, but I should be making more. Harlan said I was too big to be running in and out of the kitchen. He probably isn't wrong, but it's not the answer I wanted. I've been around here for so long that I'm starting to recognize the locals by the day they visit. Huxley, the rat in the corner with dusty sleeves, is playing poker with us on his time off here with Reed, a shaggy wolf with a scar on his snout. Marcy told me the rug is staying. Does Marcy pay your bills? No. Does Marcy know anything of the world beyond fussing, time and playing with wooden puzzles all day when you're not about to coddle her? No, but the damn rug is her mother's. It's filthy. So she's a clean it then. I watch them take turns drawing cards. She's tried, but she ain't that clever. I'm just sick of looking at the damn thing. So do something about it then. Royal flush. Son, bitch, stop distracting with your damn stories. Mind your business, you'll win some. Red smiles and takes his wings, and the wolf slaps another dollar bill on the table. They often get a little rowdy, but they know not to push it too far. They're here so much. This is almost their home as much as mine, but I wouldn't exactly call them family. Wouldn't be surprised if they didn't even know who I was. I hear the saloon door flip open in the foyer. A spindly-looking weasel dressed in a dapper bow tie turns the corner. His nose twitches as he looks from one customer to another customer. Rapidly, and the widest, brightest grin I've ever seen spreads across his face. Goodness, here's that old hustle. I need to fucking... Okay. Goodness, here's that good old hustle and also what I miss. Reputation of Square's hip most certainly precedes her. The stout sounds foreign. British, maybe not quite the same as I've heard before. Some heads turn and the stoat looks as if he's making an announcement to somebody or another, but nobody in particular is paying attention or listening. I see Harlan's ear twitch. I'm sorry, sir, we've no scene left aside from the bar. That sounds excellent, my dear. I hope not to impose very long. See, I've always wanted to visit an authentic Western saloon. Why wouldn't I want to start here? Cynthia laughs politely. She has to struggle to keep her ears from splaying. Well, this is as authentic as it gets, sir. She slowly turns to guide him my way near the bar. I give her my hardest salute and she tries to communicate I'm sorry non-verbally with her eyes. And her grimace, but the man is seated, right next to me. Perfume coming off is a bit herbal and strong. Thankfully, the stoat ain't interested in me in the moment. His attention is taken by the bar table itself. He gasps and waves Harlan over the spastic paw. Sir, is this a gentleman de l'Abra? No, sirs, here are just Harlan, and I couldn't tell you, I just serve the drinks here. What do you have? What's most popular? Beer. Stout frowns slightly. I try to make eye contact with him. I see, well, I'll have one, then. There's more than one kind. Yes, well, I would like to have whichever kind is most preferred by the clientele. Harlan nods and gets out a mug. I smell the citrus in my drink and would manage to take a sip when I suddenly feel scrutinized. The hairs in the back of my neck rise. I look left, still facing forward, to see the stoat stare me down. You're one of the workers here, aren't you? I nearly inhaled some of my whiskey and the back of my throat burns. It was time to stop, to swallow, and put my glass down. No, I'm just a frequent visitor. That's strange. You fit the exact description of someone I was told to look for. Shit. I look up at Harlan, who's busy with another customer. His ears still flicking. A mountain lion with beautiful markings and near white fur. Built like a house, she said. Work does things with the body. Yes, it does. I can see the insides of his tiny ears blushing. He'd probably be cute if he didn't talk. This one won't be able to tell you much about our evening selections. Come back after dark if you're interested. Harlan's voice is cold and sharp when I suddenly feel a welling surge of thankfulness from him. Oh, my apologies then. So trembles as his big paws glide over the buttons of his satchel, playing with them nervously. The laser would help you with whatever you need. Oh, but I'm interested in men. Really? Really, Cliff? Really? You're fucking... God, you're fucking oblivious. My eyes widen. Start to sip my whiskey faster. I don't mind that it burns going down. I just need something to get my mouth covered so I'm not audibly gasping. I'm afraid we aren't that sort of establishment. So I do not. Harlan. I do not mean to be impudent, but I was most specifically informed that you were offered male options. Then you should also have known to go through secretive channels to find me, you imbecile. You should stop yelling. I hadn't realized that I was. He wasn't. I think we never talk outside, fella. I quietly thank the Lord that he doesn't know about any of my clients now. The bags under the middle-aged wolf's eyes are extremely puffy today, but he always has a stale smell about him. I can tell he's drunk from the way he swaggers. Harlan's ear is twitching worse than it's ever been before. Outside sounds like a good idea. There was danger in the air's tone. Wolf flinched from the sudden snap, but he shakes it off. I think I made a mistake. Damn right you did. One of the wolf's friends is glaring at the stove from the table. He looks far less drunk, but far more upset. Yeah, fucking homophobic piece of shit, okay? I get it. It's a frightful look. And when a mistake is made, a remedy can be supplied through good communication. I think talking would be a good idea. Outside. Wolf raises his paws, nodding, and puts the lip of his small satchel over his head. His thin, brown, black-tipped tail is bottle-brushing what are unmistakably anxiety spikes. He leaves his beer untouched and swiftly escapes from the parlor out the front door. Soon after, the other two follow. Shit. I have to think over my options. Seems like my new foreign friend is getting the authentic experience that he was after. On one hand, maybe they'll go easy on him and alert to some discretion. On the other hand, I might kill him if nobody's around to look. I rise from my seat. Let them be. Seem don't need any more stitches. I shrug and whisper. You just lost your customer. I don't necessarily want to be the one. Do the same. I need the money. Harlan places his fist on his chin, lifts his brow and gives me a curt nod before I turn to him and exit the door. Again, I truly didn't mean to argue and create a scene. I sure thought my source was reliable. They said the squatter's hip could cater to dandy curiosities. What in the name of God is wrong with this filthy limey? There were kids in there, you goddamn pervert. As if your friend has any room to talk. Cynthia has some filthy stories on him. What kind of shithole are you from that produces men like you, educated men no less? Educated, he says, probably why he's here. Did shirt like him got chased out where he came from. Okay. Wouldn't be the first to lie. Not so sure he's caught him making eyes at Marcy. Wolf guffaws. Well, who wouldn't? She's a nasty bitch. He's a filthy bash, just want to fuck anything, isn't he? Well, I certainly want to fuck neither of you. The wolf's fist meets Cliff's stomach with a harsh impact. That weasel tumbles into the dirt, yowling as he spins. Filthy suit, you better! Filthy suit, you better than that woman's shit you're wearing, you greasy pile of shit! We're ready to advance on the weasel's new location. He lifts his leg, looks... What the fuck is this music? This is not fitting. He lifts his leg, lets it hang in the air for a few seconds, and lets it fall. Kicks 3 times. Hard. Cliff is letting out horrible noise. I start to wonder if the little guy will get up, which unfortunately means I may have to get into another fight. Claws extend, when all of a sudden the rat stops kicking Cliff. He's just sniffling and sobbing on the ground when the clamor of a dozen doors opening, people leaving their homes, sounds throughout the street. I spot William in the distance and he's staring in the direction of the alley. Shit! I'm not paying for another fucking fine. Let's get out of here before they recognize. I like booze better than I like candy asses. What the fuck is that? What? What? Okay. The two quickly run off, leaving the weasel curled on the ground, covered in dirt and bruises. Tears streaming from his eyes. He makes pitiful sounds as I crouch over my knees. You alright, Professor? Student? Can you move? Hey, don't, no! That sucks, good grief. Wiggle your feet. They move fine. Now your hands, now your fingers, good. You're fine. No, I'm not fine. I was beaten. Everything hurts. But you'll live without any permanent damage. Better than I can say for most of the apology with do what you did back there. He was about to say something else. Thoroughly look left to the right to make sure nobody's looking. People are passing us rapidly, but few are paying attention. There must be something important happening in front of us. I bend down and shut him with a soft kiss. He squeaks in surprise, trembling. His tongue is tiny and receptive, and he tastes like mint. Maybe that will help the pain. He stares at me, wipes a tear from his eye, and slowly sits up, amused by the sudden lump in his pants. You're at the right place. Be smart about it next time. You're supposed to be good at that, right? There's a sudden disturbance at the town center. Hushed voices and urgent chattering all the way. Don't worry about getting a punch thrown at you from time to time, being what you are here. See, there's always something these folks are busy themselves with. They can hardly control themselves. They'll forget this in no time. I turn back and best smile for Cliff, but he's already gone. Seems like such a slippery fellow when he wants to be. Maybe he'll remember that next time some slob with fist is trying to make intimate contact with his gut. He's a doctor, after all. He's a really quick learner, then there shouldn't really be a problem, should there? You're only concerned just pondering it. Meanwhile, the crowd is growing. Most of them are men, some of which I recognize, most of which are strangers. There are, of course, plenty of women peeking from windows, pretending to arrange the curtains. But among them are 2 familiar figures. One's William, the other is a red fox with a camera slung around his neck. Murdoch. I've seen him work at the general store and do odd photography jobs around about the town, but I've never had to speak with him. I don't know what these miners expect you to do, unfortunately. The big coyote sighs. The usual, I suppose. They want me to sniff out a scumbag so we can dangle the end of a rope. And then they can piss themselves drunk. What else? The fox smiles sadly and shakes his head. How cheerful. Well, at least it sounds like they know how to have fun. They might have had just if only they waited. I already know that Avery will tell me that these photos are useless. Those boys are out for blood. They're hungry, they're tired, they're overworked, and now one of them is dead. Be able to paint the prettiest picture how some bastard got drunk and nailed himself in the head. It's not going to give them the relief they want. Well, maybe a kid or Ivan Mom can produce some evidence. These pictures aren't going to show them anything interesting. Perhaps you can tell them that Ralph did it. Don't joke like that. Who's joking? 2 men notice me. Sam, just the man I want to talk to. William scrutinizes me with a sharp gaze, like he always does. I can read the familiar twinge of anger on his face when he stares at me, but I can sense a harsh protectiveness there too, similar to Madame. Talk away. Somebody reported a dead miner. It just tightens. Folks suspect foul play. Fox suddenly speaks up. And unfortunately tampered with the crime scene. My ears perk up. William gives me a look at that. He regards me with a kind, thoughtful gaze. His chirpy voice disarms me and I feel a little less scrutinized. I brought the body to the town square, wrapped up in a blanket, and extracted the... I literally can't keep my actions straight. And extracted the purported murder weapon. William growls and nods, jerking his head to the canvas in front of the hanging tree. Pulled the pickaxe clean from his skull. Did so much damage that we can't tell if the blood end or the sharp end did it hit him. Why does that matter? Well, it muddles the narrative, doesn't it? Was he hit in the head or did he hit himself? We didn't see the equipment limit or lie. He doesn't need to know that many details, Murdoch, but most pressing is if there were signs of a struggle. There won't be now. Idiots. So you might never know what happened? And he stares me down. Maybe not, but it's possible you could help us. I feel dizzy. Help how? With your proclivities. Murdoch looks away, appearing not to listen, and busy himself with his camera, taking a snapshot at a few of the gathered crowds. I understand. Trying to look horrified, but it isn't working. I know you've seen plenty of miners. Folks get sloppy when they're, well... William's eyes linger on me, starting from the basement to peek in my ears. I need to know if Jack had enemies. Personally, I'm willing to bet the fool was looking for gold and wanted to steal away for himself. Then he tried to use a pickaxe in the dark, but if something did happen, there's no better evidence than a confession. My stomach is churning. I can try, William. Good man. I'll stop by for further questions later in the evening. Finally, William is walking away. I let out a deep breath. William spent all 5 minutes making a conversation with you. He seems to like you. Shit. The fox is still here. What are you blackmailing with? I choke and I stumble. I don't want a beer anymore. I see Murdoch cock an eyebrow and his smile grows thin. I was just joking. His tail sways slowly behind him as if working up a thought. He sniffs the air for a second, his gaze widens. But his sin is on you, so maybe not. Either way, it's not really my business. My tail twists up and a little bit of heat rises in my ears. I'm no me to be toyed with. What ain't your business exactly? The fox flicks his ears to the broth and makes a jerk-off motion in the air. Just paying for something I can get for free, that's all. I certainly wasn't to an answer like that, but I can't help but laugh. Sounds like being a sucker. Not the word I'd use for this conversation, but not wrong to some effect. He shrugs. Maybe I'll have some questions of my own tonight when William shows up. Maybe some answers too. Answers? Yeah, like I had fun around here. Makes my heart to see a newcomer so gloomy. I'm not looking for fun. I'm looking for prospects. Fun and prospects don't have to be so separate. That sounds like kind of shit that Jack would have said. If anything, I could help on the connections end. I got more than a few. Third generation, born and raised. Sounds suspect. Well, I should hope not. Locals around here have reputations to uphold. After all, wouldn't want to be seen as a troublemaker. Grins. Not the kind of reputation I'm after, I'm afraid. Good thing there were balls at it, then. Here then, clean-cut groceries and schools teachers. No pirates, no bandits, no upstart revolutionaries. Bit pathetic if you ask me, but it puts bread on the table in an up-and-coming city like Echo. It would bode well to have your name established on the map early. I can tell he's kept his job as a salesman now. Maybe I'll consider your advice. Maybe's all I need. Murdoch takes a bow and makes a hand gesture before turning away on his heels, his big tail swaying from side to side. I have certainly my fair share of people who are excited for the day. If I want to be seen tonight, and most importantly alluring, then I ought to catch a nap. I don't feel so great about William coming to visit me. I'm usually always honest with him. Probably why he trusts me. Can't be like that anymore. At least not for a little while. Okay, so I need to pause it now because, I need to pause it now. It's time for some sexy time. See ya. Well, that was really short. Basically, oral, and, then there was like a short comment about William trying to get Sam to help him find out who the murderer is. That's pretty much all you missed. Do what you do and be in my eyes after dark. I can't keep tabs on as many folks I'd like with all the new folks moving in. Why don't you do this yourself if you think it's so insightful? Cause I ain't a cocksucker. I'd carve out my way to be of use. You not so much, fella, but it would make both our lives easier. So long as you're a sheriff. So long as I'm sheriff. William shakes his shaggy head and grunts, rising from the bed as he pulls on his suspenders. You'll learn about the road quick enough. Quicker than it would be better. Quicker would be better, I might add. Sighs. Anyway, clean yourself up before you talk to me outside. I need witnesses to a better reason for my visit tonight. Okay. Beaches. Fuck. First thing I do is make my way to the wash bowl and start scrubbing. The water is cloudy soon enough with what William left behind, but the citrus oil masks enough of the smell. I grunt when my length presses against the dresser. William doesn't tend to be finishing before he leaves. The clear stain on my trousers has to be taken care of before I go speak with the sheriff in front of others. At least I won't have to wait to be ready for another customer soon. William waits for me at the bar quietly. He's ordering something, shidling lazy with that fox from before. Take a seat between the two of them, which they must have arranged for intentionally. Let's get down to business then. Murdoch sniffs the air. You mean you hadn't already? William shoots him a look. Not in the least. Oh, calling debauch makes a loon out of a sane man and much worse out of the trash. If our murder exists, he makes succor out of the best medicine for guilt. Pleasures that distract among people proper society tends to forget. Or at least pretend to forget. Proper bookkeeping covers blind spots. I think I'm starting to understand. Which means you need to meet some of the ladies. They'll give us access to the men. The men I can't access. But they can't say that out here, can they? You want the powder room then, Cynthia? Foxer is out of our way, ready to lead the way. There is no way this is in this fucking saloon. No way. No fucking way. That is way too fancy. I'm not here very often. Usually because I choose not to be. It's a bit too periwinkle for me. And nothing humbles you more as a whore than a space guaranteed to give you no interested prospective clients. The girls chatter on the sofas while Cynthia leads me to Madame. William. I just need a few words. Madame places her chin on her waist, chin on her wrist, and she stares into William's eyes, dark and sparkling in the candlelight. Pray that they engross me. My attention span is short, and my patience for God-fearing man is shorter. I'll be short, then. Your sort usually is. Wow! Her gown billows as she rises. She ushers to a doorway across the hall. He gives William a wrist, and he takes it, and she leads him to the office. I must hear their muffled voices, until a sudden squeak almost distracts me. You're here! Christ almighty. This one is a bit of spunk to him. Bit of what? I can show you what I mean if you want to spend the night with me. She winks at the Weasley, giving him the slight trace of a best smile. A tempting offer, but if I must be honest, I'm most curious about an experience with Sam here. If I'm stubborn enough to take a beating for that, then I'm stubborn enough to seek a unique opportunity. The insides of Weasel's ears blush. The looks he's given me are a bit passionate, not so much in a lusty way. I'm afraid he might not understand that this is a job. Perhaps that kiss was a mistake. But anybody would have needed a kiss after putting it with, well, Echo. I'm booked tonight, unfortunately. This isn't even a lie. Nikolai's my regular today. But it's not unusual for Nick to suddenly cancel. He's not always the most reliable customer, even if he is a good friend. Then I will double your usual price. I want to put in my bookings aren't for sale to the highest bidder, but they utterly earnestly are. But Madam had warned me about passionate customers. Obsession can easily lead to heartbreak and violence. I'm not entirely sure yet that I want to take this weasel's money. I'll consider if my regular client cancels, which happens often enough, but I can't guarantee an immediate booking without prior arrangements. Weasel visibly wilts. I do understand. You are a professional after all, and you have to ensure the health of your livelihood. I'll make reservations if I cannot book tonight. So this is the fellow with the cold feet, then? Trying to figure out what Cynthia's talking about when I turn and jump, forgetting the fox is still here. I'm a little bit unnerved by how quiet he can be. Unfortunately not, my dear. I'm here for business, not for pleasure. But your pleasure's our business, aren't I right, Sam? I grunt. Then you should have charged me already. I'm just having a lovely time. I'm having a lovely time just taking in the atmosphere. I can bill you by the hour if you're that insistent. Murdoch chuckles. Not so much. I'm trained to think in ways to make money faster than I spend it. Mock concern wells up in Cynthia's tone. So he's after our jobs? I remember a little irritably that he did imply that I should pay him, as opposed to the other way around. I don't think I'm cut out for such a thing, but another lifetime, perhaps. Even if I were, I'd have to be cut from different cloth, so to speak. My family's willful that I spend my time to develop my trade. So the shorter story is that you're a coward. He's right, you know. I've heard the sob story before plenty of times. Grow a spine and spend some mama's money to slob in a knob. Cynthia sputters into chorus chirpy laughter. I think I imagined something. For a split second, there seems to be a cold, intense hatred coming from the fox that distorts and warps his friendly features. Before I can process what I see, his mischievous smile is there again. There's a jolly spark in his eyes. I can sense nothing but warmth now. I can only express this feeling as the ounce of a migraine that stops in one after it begins. If you want a chance of my money that bad, I'll spend it not. I mean it when I say I don't intend to pay for sex. But if you want to make this a point of personal pride, well, we're gonna have to hold a wager. 5 times your regular hourly rate, whoever has the best time. I'm not interested in the uncertainties. If you book me for the night, you pay. I've got far more money than lose if I'm caught spending the night in a brothel. Now who's the coward? Have a little more faith in your hips, Sam. 5 for 1 is a great deal. She leans in close. My family's wealthy enough to pay too. They wouldn't be hurting for much, and they'd squash any rumors about their own son. Several of the girls scream. Cynthia looks at me, smirk wiped off her face and her eyes full of concern. There's a low rumble outside that I recognize as the clamor of gathering voices. I look outside of the window. There are protesters arguing with one another. Most of them appear to be minors. Some of them are holding signs. One of those signs has a vision of a young ram on it, but I can't quite tell what the words say during the dark. Another one of those signs has Jack's face on it. I feel something twist in my stomach. My fur bristles. I suddenly feel alone in a room full of loud, frightened people. There's a sudden feeling of hot breath on my neck, like something wants to bite into my throat. William's booming voice brings me back. Everybody hunker down tonight. I don't want to see a single soul wandering out in those streets. Looks like all your prospects have to say, Sam. I can't attend to all of them. Then attend to one of them. We're going to have to find somewhere for the rest. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. We are going to choose the route tomorrow, whenever I decide to do the video, because, yes. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. See you next video.